So this isn't just a writing issue. This is a world building issue. Like it's absolutely wild. The differences in technology level and like creature comfort level between the different courts. It's very odd. Also, as an update on the rabbit son, he's doing pretty well. He's getting like more hyper and he's like being more active. But because we're so used to him being chill, we now have no frame of reference for his hyperness. So every time he does something hyper, it feels like there's something wrong. So it's just making us nervous that he's happy. This is just where we are now. Anyway, I do feel like this is a huge issue in Akatar, like across it. Like in the night court, they have leggings and sweaters and mental health days, and in the day court, they have togas and their neighboring like courts. Like, what's going on here? And I don't think there's anything wrong with the culture being different and maybe they're wearing different things, but for it to be so delineated out like that without any sort of indication as to why, besides, court magic, which shouldn't even apply to the solar courts anyway, because it's not like the dawn is always in dawn and the day is always in day and the night is always in night. Wow, my throat is dry. Like, even though, yes, there are cultural things going on here and there's magical things going on here, there should still be a little bit of overlap, especially in the solar courts. I feel like a really, really good example of like cultural bleed over in a fantasy world comes from Lord of the Rings. I feel like Rohan and Gondor, for example, do a really good job of keeping the cultures separate, but also there being a common through line for both. Like Rohan, for example, they're very horse driven. Like that's their economy, that's their culture. And also like Rohan people, like they don't read, but they sing a lot of songs, so they're very learned, but they're not well read. Then compare this to Gondor, where they are very well read and they have libraries and there's a lot more structure in their cities. Even like in Osgiliath, which is like in ruins, like you can tell that city had structure before the orcs, took their hacksaws to it. And even the Shire, the hobbits in the Shire are not the hobbits in Bree. And there is a little bleed over, but there isn't, those cultures are distinct, but there's still a little bleed over. Like, it's not like the Shire lives in a completely different time as Bree, as, Lake Town, as Rohan, as Gondor. Like, they all are in the same world, even though the culture is different. Akatar doesn't do that, and it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because then we have questions like this, and it's like, oh, like we're navel gazing and we're picking apart the writing. No, you've made it very easy to pick this apart. Like, sorry.